Good afternoon everyone. This will be my video lecture for Chameleon Values and Virtues class for both Block A and Block B. Today is March 4, it's a Thursday, March 4, 2021, and we'll be starting a new lesson which is humanism as a learning theory, or the humanistic learning theory. But before we start, I have given you an assignment, which is assignment number 4, which is you have to discuss and explain in your own words what humanism, uh, what is this learning theory called humanism, or the humanistic learning theory. That's the first one. The second one is, of course, I told you to, no, that is assignment number 4. This is your assignment number 4, right? Assignment number 4. So, explain in your own words. That's number 1. Explain in your own words. In your own words, the humanistic learning theory. No? Humanistic learning theory, or humanism as a learning theory. No? The word there is humanistic or humanism. The second is, I have given you as your assignment also, you have to discuss or explain the theory of needs of Abraham Maslow. The theory of needs of Abraham Maslow, who is the father, of course, of this particular theory, so Abraham Maslow. And number 3, I would like to add, of course, you discuss the contributions. You discuss the contributions of 2 more humanistic advocates. Contributions of, the first is of course, the first would be Carl Rogers, no? Carl Rogers. And then the second is by James F.T. Bugental. No? So you also have to include the contributions of Carl Rogers and James Bugental, because they are also advocating the humanistic approach of learning. No? So today I will be discussing first the key principles, or the basic principles of humanism as a learning theory. No? So there are principles that you need to study about humanism. No? Key principles or elements of humanism. No? Of humanism as a learning theory. The first is, humanism is learner-centered. This particular learning theory is learner-centered. No? It's it's not learning, but learner-centered or student-centered. No? Learner-centered. And being learner-centered, of course, when we talk of being learner-centered, it is the learner or the student who is in control of his education. So the first one is, of course, student choice. No? When I say student choice, it means that it is the student who chooses the manner by which he will learn on something. No? He is given the freedom, the autonomy as to what? As to the manner of his learning, manner by which he will learn on a particular subject or task, no? You put the student in the center. It's the focus of attention of the education process or the teaching learning process, no? So the student will have the choice, no? What choices are those? Well, as the term choice would refer to his daily activities, no, because he has the control, no, of the manner by which he would like to learn, and also future goals, no. So these are the things that the student or the learner may plan, no, his daily activities or future goals. And what is the role of the teacher? The role of the teacher is just being a facilitator. Facilitator meaning he facilitates or she facilitates the process. Facilitator, and at the same time a role model. Facilitator and role model. So this is the job of the teacher now, no? The teacher is merely a facilitator and a role model, but the teacher, being the facilitator, would also have a say on the daily activities. They will be planning together as to the daily activities and the future goals. But the choices of the subjects, the tasks that the student will have to do would come from the student himself, because this is a learner-centered process or theory. No? The second is that the second principle of humanism is that you cannot, well, the focus, number two, the focus of this theory, remember this, the focus of this theory is both, no? It's not only the intellect, but also the feelings. So the focus of this theory is on the whole child, or on the whole, is on the wholeness of the learner. No? What I mean by wholeness would refer to the development of the intellect plus, no? Plus. It's not only the mind that you have to develop, but also the feelings, no? Plus feelings, no? You cannot divorce one from the other. So this is what you are trying to develop. When we talk of the intellect, we are talking of the cognitive domain, right? You studied there in cognitivism, cognitive domain, the three domains of learning, and also feelings would refer to the affective domain. Understand? So here, for this theory, humanism as a learning theory, we are talking of the wholeness. No, we are not talking only about the development of the intellect, but also of the feelings. No, intellect plus feelings, according to this theory, go hand in hand. No, they go hand in hand. That's why I put the plus sign there. No? Okay, understood? That is the second key principle in humanism as a learning theory. We go to the third principle. The learner is engaged. No? The focus, again, focus is also on the engagement. No? Engagement, I will discuss this later on. Engagement plus motivation of the learner. Motivation. No? Engagement plus motivation of the learner. No? So, what do we mean by engagement? Well, when we talk of engagement, definitely the learner should think, no? Should think of the things that he is passionate about, no? Things or areas of which he is passionate about, passionate, no? Yung gusto niyang matutunan, passionate about, no? That's why you have to keep the interest of the child by being engaged, no? Or even his motivation level will be very high if what he is learning, of course, is what he is passionate about, the things that he like most, no? So those are what is being what is being objectively attained by this learning theory, no? Uh, Engagement plus motivation, and what are the things that he may be engaged on, no? The learner may be engaged on developing his artistic skills, even his practical skills, no? His intellect, his feelings, and even goals, no? Achievement of goals, no? Here, of course, when we talk about artistic interest or skills, those who are inclined should be geared towards that, no? Practical skills, the ones that we use on a daily basis, our intellect, feelings, the goals that we would like to attain or the learner wants to attain. So this will keep him motivated because he will be in a variety of tasks that he will be doing, no? Remember that focus is also on the engagement. No? The child or the learner is engaged in doing so many things that he is passionate about. Okay? The fourth key principle of humanism is that self-evaluation is an important self-evaluation, yung mismong sarili niya. Self-evaluation is the norm, no? The norm, no? Meaning to say that grades do not really matter, no? In a humanistic approach, grades do not matter to them, no? They do not pay attention so much on the grade because according to educators, if you focus on the grades, the attainment of grades, you will be focusing your attention only on this aspect. Whereas if there is self-evaluation, this is the best way. In self-evaluation, you evaluate by your own self. This is the best way as to how we could assess or measure how learning is going on. How learning is going on. No? So the most meaningful, the meaningful learning would come by, of course, by teaching the child or the learner to do things his own way, no? What he wants to learn, he has the choice. What tasks would he learn? It is also his choice. As to how he will do it, it is also his choice. But the teacher now acts as the facilitator. That's the point. Self-evaluation is the norm. Okay? You understand that? And grades do not really matter in a humanistic approach of education. No? Grades do not matter because what matters to them is, of course, meaningful learning. Meaningful learning. Meaningful learning. Meaning, they learn based on what is best for them through perhaps different ways, no? In different ways. And then the fifth key principle or element of humanism is that the fifth would be ensuring a safe environment. Ensuring a safe and comfortable environment for the learner. Comfortable environment for environment for the learner. No? For the learner. You have to ensure a safe and comfortable environment for the learner. Why is that? Well, because it is very basic in humanism that we have to be sensitive about the needs, no, of the learner. We have to meet the needs of the learner so that he becomes motivated, he becomes engaged in the teaching learning process. No? Needs. You have to meeting the needs of the learner. So you can meet only the needs of the learner by, of course, ensuring that there is a good environment that he is in, to ensure that he will be physically, mentally, and emotionally motivated. No? Remember that motivation is a very important factor in a humanistic approach or in a humanistic learning theory. No? This is the fifth, no? Ensuring a safe and comfortable environment. No? The objective of this learning theory, humanistic learning theory, or humanism as a learning theory, it will only lead to one, no? And the objective, of course, is the objective of humanism is what we call self-actualization. No? This is the objective of humanism, self-actualization. You have to read or study the theory of needs of Abraham Maslow so that you could understand what self-actualization would mean. When we talk of self-actualization, we are talking about an individual having attained fulfillment. No? Self-actualization would mean one is fulfilled already. Fulfilled. He is already happy with what he has become. Happy of what he has become. No? And of course, when we talk of self-fulfilled, we are talking about achievement. No? Achievement of goals. And anything that you would like in life. Achievement of goals. No? So, self-actualization is the objective of humanism. It boils down to all this, what we call self-actualization. And when we talk of self-actualization, we talk of an individual who is already fulfilled. He has achieved or attained all his objectives, and he is happy with what he has become in life. But if you will ask, is there really self-actualization for all people? No? Do we really achieve all this? Well, even Abraham Maslow would say that only a few, or say it's only a minute number of people will be able to achieve what we call self-actualization. So that is the humanism as a learning theory. Okay, so next week we will be discussing the theory of needs, theory of Abraham Maslow, and also the work of James F.T. Bogenthal, and of course by Carl Rogers. No? So I'd like you to read the contributions of Carl Rogers by James Bugenthal, and of course the very important one, the theory of needs of Abraham Maslow. Okay, that is all for today. Good afternoon, everyone.